in the country and around the world. We're still working through some of those. We do have COVID-19 protocols in place. We have hand sanitizers around. If you don't see one and you need some, we have some at the registration desk. You all should have gotten some in your welcome packets. I hope you enjoy it. Anyone who is fully vaccinated can voluntarily remain maskless. If you are not fully vaccinated, you must put on a mask, please. We have an overflow room. For those of you standing up, we have chairs. There's lots of chairs. I'm looking at you guys in the back. But we do also have an overflow room if you do not want to squeeze into here. It is in the retreat room, which is up on top of the second floor, facing out over the ocean. And the screen will be showing you exactly what we got going on in the hybrid section. And of course, everyone should have received an email this morning with the hybrid session channel. So if you want to go to the pool and enjoy the technical sessions from the pool, I won't come get you. You can go do that with your mobile devices. We want everyone to be safe and healthy so we can promote our lifelong learning. For those of you who haven't been here before, the bathrooms are out the door, down the hall, and to the left. We will have snacks at break times, which are identified on the schedule. And of course, if there are any issues, look for someone with the green committee flag or come see me, and we will get you sorted out. Any program updates? There have only been a couple, so I won't say there's anything critical. You can find one of the QR codes, or you can try to scan this right now. But all of the program updates, any schedule updates, the program calendar, everything that's relevant that we may have published is all up on the Georgia ITE website, where underneath the summer seminar event. So you'll be able to see the documents there. And I know all of you miss it, but we aren't using the app this year, so don't go looking for it. No one has asked, so that is great. All right. I want all of my committee chairs to stand up. Back with you, Kristen. Where are my committee chairs? They're all at the pool watching the hybrid session. Well, again, I want a round of applause for all the committee chairs. Good night, guys. Could not have done it without them. They were tireless and never said no, and it was a wonderful thing. And now, anyone who actually served on any of the committees, now I want you to stand. That better be at least a quarter of this room. Come on. And thank you guys all. You guys, wonderful things. If you've never been on any of the planning committees for this conference, you won't understand how much time and effort goes into it. It is one of the best things about Georgia ITE is we have a hefty volunteer corps. Everyone is willing to put in their time, and without them, this conference couldn't happen. But speaking of things that couldn't happen without this, I want to thank our sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors this year. The numbers, I totally forgot what they are, but I'm going to go over them. Thank you to the dining level sponsors. We've got KCI, Kimley Horn, All Traffic Data, Croy, Jacobs, and NV5. Thank you all so much for your contributions, not only to this conference, but to the rest of the Georgia IT events we do throughout the year. We also have a number of platinum sponsors. We have WSP, Arcadis, SEI, Modern Mobility Partners, Stantec, Gresham Smith, AECOM, NDS, Control Technologies, 360NS, and Utilicom. Here's one gold sponsor. I did not do this on purpose. So I will mention that, hey, next year, if you're a silver sponsor, maybe you should share some space with Michael Baker. And then our silver sponsors, we have Pond, Greater Traffic, Neil Schaefer, Atlas, VHB, Metro Traffics, Teledyne Fleur, that's how you pronounce that, you guys? Thank you. Mar Traffic, KK Systems, Wavetronics, Southern Lighting, Temple, and Keck and Wood. We also have a number of exhibitors that are out on the front area here. I want you all to take time over breaks to go visit them and visit their products. Without them, we also would not be able to put on this conference. And those exhibitors are NDS, Control Technologies, All Traffic Data, 360NS, KK Systems, Wavetronics, Utilicom, Southern Lighting, and Temple. And now, for all of our sponsors and all our exhibitors, one more round of applause. Come on, you guys. I forgot to update this morning, so I'm going to check the numbers. We are back, and everyone's happy to be back, I'm sure. It has been, it's been a year. Now, as of this morning, we have 148 registrants, so that didn't change. We have 82 online attendees. We have 132 guests, so that changed since yesterday. We have 29 sponsors, thank you, 9 exhibitors, and 1/2 of a foundership just down the coast. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, you got to walk out onto the sands just far enough out so you can look to the right. It's like, hey, there's half a ship down there. When we were talking about the 2020 summer seminar before COVID hit, I was super excited, like, oh, we get to go see the Golden Ring. We can set something up to go out there and take a look. And I was like, oh, it's not going to be there by the time we get here. And it's still here. For those of you who enjoy social media, we do have several accounts, but really, you should just tag everything you got with #GeorgiaITE, and we will be able to see it. But on top of that, there's no official photographer this year. You are all official photographers, and all of your pictures can be featured in the Tuesday banquet. So I want them, please. Email them to georgiasectionite@gmail, or you can send them directly to me. You must have my email address someplace. Or just find me, and we'll get your pictures uploaded. We have lots of events this year. We have double breakfast. That is not usually the case, so we'll see you tomorrow morning for breakfast if you did enjoy it this morning. We also have Mulkey on Tuesday afternoon. This is replacing our volleyball tournament. If you don't know what Mulkey is, that's okay. Nobody else does either. Shannon Fang or Shannon? Shannon. Shannon's probably getting set up for Tuesday. He found this game. It's Norwegian. It involves throwing sticks. It's very Norwegian. But it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. And I hope everyone signs up. There's a registration thing out in front for Tuesday afternoon. Just to reiterate, I know there's been a lot of confusion about who can attend what. The scholarship auction on Tuesday, as well as the dessert on Tuesday, is for everyone, guests included. But the banquet is only for registrants. So if you are not one of the people who got this first, I'm sorry, that is the only people who can attend the banquet. And on that note, if you are not planning to attend the banquet, but when you signed up, you said you were, I would like to know about that. Please inform the registration desk so we can help out with the numbers for the hotel. And we also have a waiting list. Tonight, we have an online social, which everyone is invited to attend. It's at 7 o'clock. There is an event open on the website, and if you plan to attend, we would like you to register so we can make sure we have it situated for the number of people coming. For family events, we have a kids obstacle course that's happening in 1 hour. So hopefully you've already signed up out there. If not, text your spouse or your guest and say, go sign up. The sandcastle competition is happening tomorrow at 10 o'clock also. That is open to anyone. I have won this in the past, so don't let that stop you. Tennis tournament starts at Tuesday at 1 o'clock. See Mark Lenters. There's also a sign up on the registration desk. And the scholarship auction and reception starts on Tuesday at 6. Drinks start at 5. So come get drinks and then go to the scholarship auction. And the dessert social is after the banquet, hopefully at 8:30 prompt. And again, all the sign-up sheets are on the registration desk. And speaking of the scholarship auction, it's for a good cause. If you are a recipient of our scholarship, I want you to stand up, and I know we have at least a few. Where's Chris? Where's everybody else? All right, well, we have over 95 recipients of our scholarship to date. Our scholarship auction supports the educational initiatives of worthy, not members, worthy students. And it's really important. It's for a good cause. You can get good stuff. And please, scan that. Pay attention to Meg, but scan that. And make sure you put in some bids. The auction ends at Tuesday at 10 o'clock. For those of you online, the link for the auction should be in the comments right now. If not, we'll get it in there soon. And that said, I'm going to pass the baton to Christy, and I hope you all have a great conference.
Thank you very much, Bill. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. My name is Christy John. People who don't know me, I know most of you guys, but welcome to St. Simon's. I'm so happy to see people live and hugging and handshaking again. So I'm very happy about that. But I'm very honored to serve as a technical committee chair this year and support Bill. This experience for me and great process, and a lot of people helped me. So I know the names here, these are the technical committee members. I'm going to call your name, and can you just stand up and, until I finish calling everyone's name? Amy, Andy, Bean, Chala, Dan, Jeff, Holly, Joe, John, Kelly, Lay, Madison, Malika, Margot, Matthew, Imran, Michael, Paul Hollins, Paul Sloan, Robinson, Sam, Scott, Sylvia, Victoria, Winter, Suwin, Zen. These people worked tirelessly for the whole process. Thank you so much for all your time and dedication for many Zoom calls and Teams calls. Thank you very much. All right, as a group, collectively, we came up with a great program. So I really hope that you guys enjoy and take advantage of it. So we'll start with some major projects in Georgia Transportation 2021, including NMIP project and other major initiatives in the region. And we also have a corporate roundtable. You know, the pandemic changes everything, and it's going to change a lot how we live, work, and play. So we invited a couple folks from the corporate world, and then how this pandemic has changed us, and what's going to change us in the future. And then we have more topics, including freight, air, transportation, emerging trends in transportation, as well as we have a Vision Zero panel discussion. Personally, I can't wait to hear about this as well. Also, transit and multimodal topics, and data and technology. We call it Capstone 1 and 2 because it's all under the theme of lifelong learning. So I mean, these session names kind of look like course names. We have office hours and that. So I just want you to take advantage and have fun and participate in a great discussion. All right, so PDHs, we have a total almost 13 PDHs will be granted, and also 10 AICP credits. So after session, we have a sign-in sheet for AICPs and PDH sheets in up front. So please come out and take your sheets. And for the virtual participants, you will be receiving the PDH in the email. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me, christy.john@wsp.com. All right. And thanks to huge shout out to John Canarsi. I got to know that for the last 15 years, John, worked tirelessly to come up with AICP credits for 15 years. He is retiring from that role, and we're looking for a younger AICP member who wants to volunteer for this. So if anyone's interested, please let me know. All right, so there are so many other people that I want to thank. So GDOT, one of the agencies that we invite so many people from. 8 speakers, including the keynote. So thank you. A huge thanks going out to GDOT. And we have double speakers, Andrew Heath and Marsha Boomer. And Andrew, we had a speaker follow-up at the end of, really at the last minute. And I asked Andrew, do you want to speak like 2 topics in one session? And he graciously said yes. I don't know where Andrew is, but thank you very much, Andrew. You really saved us on that one. So. Also, Marsha is speaking on 2 topics, two different Mara Press topics. So I can't wait to hear that also. And being hybrid conference, we also have out-of-town speakers. Mark from Maryland, Lou from Virginia, Shannon and Graham from South Carolina. Thank you, and Jijo from Indiana as well. And hybrid conference group, I know we already shout out to Paul, Robinson, and Holly as well, but they worked really tirelessly. They were here in this room until 2:30 a.m. this morning. So if you see them, just encourage them, and they just need more coffee for the whole day. So. But here, I'm gonna put it out there, folks. This is our very first hybrid event, so we'll try our best. But things may happen, and please let us know and let us resolve that. But just be, bear with us, and we'll try our best this time, and maybe we'll have that's like a perfect conference in the future, in the coming years. But we'll try our best. But I want to give a round of applause to everyone who helped. With that, I'm going to hand it over to the current Georgia Section IT President, Chris Maddox at Southeastern Engineering.
Morning, y'all. How are y'all today? Happy to be here. Good. I hope y'all are as excited as I am to be back here in person. I haven't been here in 3 years. I had to go to international 3 years ago because they like to schedule things in conflict with ours. But we're here this year. We're strong and we're supporting our Georgia section. And I'm so happy to see all of your faces because this conference doesn't happen without the speakers, the sponsors, and the attendees. So all of y'all here in person and online, thank you so much for taking the time to come here and to support our section, whether y'all always do. As I mentioned, I'm Chris Maddox. I'm the 2021 Georgia IT President. I'll keep it short. We have a lot of good presentations today. This conference is going to be as strong as it is ever. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Christy. And thank you, everyone else that's volunteered. So for this conference, what comes to mind is kind of adaptable. It's been a moving target the whole year, starting last year. We didn't know what things were going to look like in July, so this conference may be a little different than it has in the past, but you know, when we were trying to figure out what we were going to be doing 6 months down the road, not knowing what things were going to look like, I think we've come up with a pretty good product, so thank you very much. As he mentioned, there was a sandcastle competition this year. I know there have been rumors floating around that I may be coming out of retirement. I just want to squash those. My sandcastle days are behind me. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give a plug real quick. We are doing the 2023 Southern District Annual Meeting. Georgia will be hosting that. And it will be run by Jody Peace and Kelly Mears. So Jody, if you would raise your hand because they are looking for volunteers. So if you see him or Kelly outside of the telecom, please go ahead and say hi to them if you'd like to volunteer for that, because I know it's going to be a big lift and they'd appreciate any help they can get. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Christy and let her introduce our organization.
All right, so our keynote speaker, this is my absolute pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Meg Pirkle. I'm going to read her bio real quick. So Meg Pirkle, a 32-year GDOT veteran, is the chief engineer of the Georgia Department of Transportation, a position she has held since January 2015. As chief engineer, she oversees management of GDOT's engineering, construction, project management, and P3 program delivery for the department's $2.5 billion statewide capital program. Meg also oversees statewide maintenance, traffic operations, and intermodal activities. She earned a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Vanderbilt University, a master's degree in civil engineering from Georgia Tech, and is a registered professional engineer. In addition, she is the recipient of the 2020 Engineer of the Year in Government section, and also the first woman to serve as chief engineer for GDOT, and only one of the few female chief engineers in the country. So when I first took this responsibility as a technical committee chair, my first job was to find an excellent keynote speaker. And then I had the last 16 years, list of keynote speakers in the last 16 years, and I studied them, and they're all like great speakers. But I noticed there was, for the last 16 years, there was only one female keynote speaker. It happened in 2005. So I was thinking, I'm looking for, my mission was to look for a fantastic speaker who can also promote diversity and inclusion. And then when I found out that Meg was able to make it, I can't be happier. So I'm really excited to hear about what she's going to talk to us about why curiosity matter. And she sent me a slide on Sunday. I took a peek, and I can't wait to hear about it. So, Meg, with that, please give us a big applause.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. Welcome, and thank you, Christy, for inviting me, and it's great to be here at Georgia ITE as part of the summer seminar. I'm going to move this back a little bit. Can y'all still hear me okay? Okay. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with such an inspiring group of people, many of whom I consider friends, and the importance of always being curious, because developing curiosity is the key to lifelong learning. So why does curiosity matter? Curiosity is the catalyst of innovation. Curious people have an interest in both their own experience and the world around them. Curiosity is also the engine of intellectual achievement. People who are curious and interested in a topic will learn faster. More importantly, for organizations, curiosity drives high performance. And the more you learn, the more you want to learn. Many of us here today are engineers, and I think by nature we are a very curious club. As a group, we're associated with creativity and problem solving. Curious people are open to exploring new ideas and possibilities. There are so many ways in which we, as working professionals in the ever-changing world of transportation, can learn, expand our skill set, and adapt to new situations, like a global pandemic that shut our communities down and forced us to expand the possibilities of the workplace and how we operate in it. I know talking to ITE members about lifelong learning is a little bit like preaching to the choir. The reason you're a member of ITE, the reason you're here, other than that this is always the greatest transportation conference in the nation, is because you like lifelong learning. I'm going to talk about some key points that I think are critical to always being curious, and hopefully one or two of these will resonate with you and help you become more curious too. Thankfully, with advances in technology, it has never been easier to pursue lifelong learning and increase our knowledge. We have opportunities right at our fingertips to learn whatever we want, whenever we want to. All it takes is a little commitment, and we can fit that learning into our busy lives in a way that works for each of us. During the COVID shutdown, my husband set out to teach himself Spanish, and he actually learned a lot. I binge-watched all of the seasons of the Great British Baking Show, and I challenged myself to become a master baker. I still have a long way to go, but I got the homemade croissants down pretty good, but the baguette still needs a lot of work. We also watched a lot of movies in the last year and a half, so I'm using quotes from some of my favorites today to entertain you along the way. The first point I want to make is that for lifelong learning, all right, Bill. It's like you're in a class in an engineering school, right? All the watches go off. The first point I want to make is that for lifelong learning, it's important to adopt a growth mindset. It's as easy as taking that first step. When you adopt a growth mindset, you understand that even your most basic abilities can be further developed through dedication and hard work. Brains and talent are just the starting point, and the potential to learn and grow is an opportunity available to everyone at any age. My best friend's father is a 92-year-old retired engineer. Up until the pandemic, he took 1 or 2 classes every year at the local community college, just because he felt like he could always be learning. He's an amazing man. The ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is what keeps us relevant and useful. Being open-minded and willing to learn are key ingredients to fresh thinking. It's also important to be open to surprises. The conundrum with surprises is that too many can make us a little anxious. But certainty, too much certainty in our lives can make things a bit dull and boring. You may feel comfortable with certainty. I think we all feel a little more alert and alive when you don't know exactly what's going to happen next. Introducing new situations into your life by talking to new people, eating new food, even driving a new route, are just small ways you can bring a little element of surprise into your life. In your career, explore new opportunities, learn new methods and technologies. Trust someone with an important responsibility. Anytime you try something new, you grow. Learn to be comfortable with uncertainty and surprises because you never know what you might discover. Another key aspect of being curious is to embrace diversity. diversity in cultures, in age, in educational background. Don't assume what other people know or what they can learn. My first management position at GDOT, I was state scheduling engineer. I had one employee, an older woman, data entry clerk, named Reba. Jim, you might actually remember Reba. Yeah. When I walked into the office on day one, she said, well, here's my new infant boss. I guess I'll get to train you on everything, even though you make a lot more money than me. She thought I was a useless kid, and even though she was probably younger than I am right now, I thought she was a dinosaur. But I was wrong. She was kind of a dinosaur, but she was smart. And she was not excited about leaving behind our old mainframe project management system. But, you know, she was so determined to prove that it wouldn't work that she became like the best beta tester ever for the new PC management system. And she actually grew and became, you know, had a sense of ownership with the new system because she helped make it happen. So we got off to a rough start, but we ended up really appreciating and respecting each other. We work and share our lives with people from so many different backgrounds and across a wide range of age groups. Embracing diversity can be so enlightening and educational. It will help you to broaden your perspectives by listening and learning from others. Being curious about differences will help you to expand your mind and expose you to other viewpoints, values, and beliefs. Just like Reba, it's important to learn from the past, but be ready to let it go. It's easy to get trapped and rely on what you've always done, especially in a big bureaucracy like GDOT. I see it every day. It can be a struggle to improve and change. Lessons learned from your past experiences are valuable. But if you want different outcomes, you need to be prepared to let go of the past, how we've always done it, and not let it affect your future. Start each day with a beginner's mindset and look at the future with an open mind. This will help you to see every situation you are in from a fresh perspective. And you may learn something from someone who you least suspect had something to teach you. At GDOT, we have a training class for young managers. Everyone who takes the class must work with a team of their classmates on an innovation project. And after the class is over, they continue to work as a team to implement their idea. The teams are all interdisciplinary because the attendees come from every office at GDOT: accounting, HR, IT, traffic engineering, design, all of them. And it's been amazing to see what these teams come up with. Many of these ideas require further coordination and approval from IT or executive management or HR, but they've all stemmed from someone on the team seeing something that needs to change or improve. Things like how we report usage of state vehicles, how we purchase salt for the state salt barns, how we size plans for printing, and how we streamline delivery of smaller projects. Many of these ideas came from someone on the team who wasn't that familiar with how things were done, but just wondered why we do it that way. Start each day with a beginner's mindset and look to the future with an open mind. Also very important to being curious, ask open questions. This might seem like a no-brainer, but sometimes you have to be intentional with it. If you have a teenager, you should already be an expert at this. There's great benefit to asking open questions, the ones that start with why, where, what, when, who. These type of questions open opportunities to gain further information and avoid shutting down the conversation with closed questions that just end in a yes or no. It is also important to be aware of your tone when you ask questions to ensure that you avoid turning a curious conversation into an interrogation. I think as people climb the corporate ladder, they think they have less to learn. Sometimes leaders tend to believe that they're expected to talk and provide answers and not ask questions. I have worked for someone like that, a know-it-all. When we demonstrate curiosity with others by asking questions, people like it, and they actually view us as more competent. The heightened trust makes our working relationships and our personal relationships more interesting and real. By asking questions, we promote more meaningful connections and more creative outcomes. In asking questions, you also model inquisitiveness and curiosity. What is the one thing I should do to make things better for you? How can I help you do your job? What do you need from me? When we're exploring new terrain, listening is as important as talking. Which brings me to my next key point. Listen. You hear this all the time in management training, in relationship advice. Listen. It's essential to be genuinely interested in what other people have to say. Appreciate that all the time your mouth is open, you are not learning. Do this without making assumptions and judgments so that you can fully absorb all the information. Demonstrate active listening through body language, and you'll also encourage others to open to you. When employees are unhappy, most of the time it's because they feel like they are not being listened to. If you want to learn from your coworkers and employees, you must listen and practice empathy. Empathy allows you to listen thoughtfully and see problems or decisions from another person's perspective. Curiosity will take you one step further and allow you to learn from other people's experience and knowledge. Seek to learn. Push yourself as far as you can go. I was 6 years out of college when I took the EIT. It may as well have been 100 years. I really had to study. Mark Mastronardi, Director of Construction at Georgia DOT, had been working in construction at GDOT for 20 years when he took the EIT. He really had to study. He likes to say that he's the same person he was the day before he took the PE exam, but having a PE has made all the difference in his career. Most of you may already have your PE and you know the value of it, but some of you don't, and we all work with people who don't have theirs. Encourage them. Don't give up. Even if it's been 20 years since you took any kind of a test, push yourself as far as you can go. Don't be satisfied with anything less. Seek to learn. If you want something, you have to work for it. Get a little drink. I'd also been working at Georgia DOT for about 5 years when I applied to grad school. I had a meeting with a Georgia Tech professor about a GDOT research project, and he asked me if I had a master's degree. When I said no, he said, "Why not? You should think about it." So I did. Why not? I thought about options. Should I get an MBA, a master's in civil, or even a master's in planning? All good options. But for me, I decided to follow the path that fed my passion. I didn't have the luxury of going to grad school full time. I had Vanderbilt loans to pay off, okay? It took me about 4 years working full time and taking 1 or 2 classes a semester to graduate. I loved the classes I took in grad school, and it increased my confidence in transportation. For me, I have no doubt that the grad school experience enriched my career. As important as it is to challenge yourself, to always be curious and learning, it's also important to hire for curiosity. Pay attention to how job candidates talk about their past projects. Someone who focuses on only his or her own contribution probably lacks an appreciation for collaboration. And you all know nothing gets done in transportation without collaboration. Candidates with curiosity are more likely to talk about how they succeeded with the help of others and to express interest in working collaboratively on future projects. It's also important to remember that the questions candidates ask, not just the answers they provide, can signal curiosity. For instance, people who want to know more aspects about the whole organization that aren't just related to the job at hand probably have more natural curiosity than the people who only ask about the role that they would perform. Curious people don't have all the answers. If there is one thing this job as chief engineer has taught me, it's what I don't know. It's a lot. There is so much going on at GDOT, it's mind-boggling. And I'm not an expert on every topic and every initiative we have underway. I am so thankful for the brilliant, curious people who I get to work with every day, who support me and who keep GDOT successful in our mission. Anyone who thinks they have all the answers really isn't curious. As hard as it is sometimes, you must be comfortable with not knowing. It would be impossible to know absolutely everything, and there will always be something new to learn. You don't need to be afraid to admit that you don't have the answer. It doesn't mean you have failed, or lack intelligence, or lack curiosity. Saying, I don't know, gives you an opportunity to find out, to embark on a whole new chapter of discovery. I truly believe that curiosity is very important for organizational performance. It's critical to emphasize learning goals with your employees. They are as important as performance metrics. I think GDOT does a good job of emphasizing the importance of learning, training, and of being involved in groups like ITE and ASHE and ASHTO and TRB. I currently serve on a TRB committee that manages the domestic SCAN research program. The goal of the SCAN program is to seek best practices and innovation and share those ideas with everyone. I get to help pick the topics, and I read and edit all of the final reports. This means that I've read some fascinating reports on topics that are and aren't really in my wheelhouse. Involvement in TRB is a great way to learn and expand your horizons. They are always looking for volunteers for studies and committees, so think about it. I'm also a member of the ASHTO Council on Highways and Streets, and a few years ago I accepted a role at ASHTO as the chair of the Committee on Traffic Engineering. I could have easily talked myself out of it, because like all of you here, I don't have time for one more thing. But I knew this would be a great opportunity for me to learn and to contribute back. I've loved learning from the other 49 states and being part of influencing national policy. By virtue of the role I have on that committee, I also serve on the National Committee for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, along with a few people who are in here. If you've ever wondered what FHWA was thinking when they wrote the MUTCD, I encourage you to consider joining the National Committee. It's a volunteer-based organization whose purpose is to assist in the development of the MUTCD and recommend language to FHWA. Anyone can apply. And they have a need for people who are curious about making the MUTCD better. This past year, when FHWA put out proposed changes to the MUTCD for public comment, was quite an experience. I got to see the back and forth, the sometimes tiresome wordsmithing, and even the political controversy that something like the MUTCD inspires, as the National Committee went through developing their comments. So when someone gives you a chance to learn, by all means, take it. I was fortunate to be invited by Georgia Tech professor Carrie Watkins to travel to the Netherlands with one of her classes and ride bikes everywhere and gain an appreciation for bicycle infrastructure in a whole new way. I am not a cyclist, so I said yes to something that I wasn't sure I would even be comfortable with. It was an awesome experience, a great learning experience, and opened my eyes to transportation and community design in ways I'd never contemplated. Seek the truth. Be curious enough to listen to the truth, as well as provide it to others. Be brave enough to accept honest feedback and to want to learn how you can really improve. Today, after this speech, many of y'all are going to say, nice job, good speech, Meg. Even if you think it was boring or that it stank like garbage. And that's okay. I don't need 100% honest feedback from all of y'all. But I know that John Hibbard will give it to me. If I ask him how something's going and it needed improvement, he'll go, and then he'll tell me exactly what he thinks. Paul Denard used to work in the chief engineer's office. He's currently the Metro Atlanta district engineer for GDOT. After a speech, I'd ask him how I did, and he'd tell me exactly what I needed to hear. Your arms were flailing around the whole time. You messed with your reading glasses, and it was really distracting. You should have practiced more. You seemed really nervous. Seek the truth and make people comfortable telling you the truth by listening. And just as importantly, be willing to tell people what they need to hear. Let's face it, we all learn from our failures. And we all know it's important to give our employees room to fail if we are going to embrace innovation. When failure happens, it's important to be curious about what went wrong and how to improve. Don't give up. When I reflect on past GDOT experiences, I wish I could erase from memory. Of course, Snowmageddon is the first thing that comes to mind. But as hard as that experience was, the lessons learned about how we as a state approach emergency response have been invaluable and have paid off with every hurricane, tornado, and bridge collapse since. So learn from your mistakes. They can only make you better. So we've covered just about all the points I wanted to make about always being curious in life. Adopt a growth mindset. Be open to surprises. Embrace diversity. Let go of the past. Ask open questions and model inquisitiveness. Hire for curiosity. Be comfortable with not knowing. Seek to learn and seek the truth. Learn from missed opportunities, and most importantly, listen. There's one last point I want to make. Take time to slow down and pause. Curiosity in many ways comes from intentional pauses. We're all creatures of habit, and in many ways we can get caught up in habitual behavior that lead us down the same old path and routine. Sometimes you may think you don't have time for changing things up. It just needs to get done. Making time to be curious and to explore new ways of doing things can be the catalyst for fresh thinking and new discoveries, and maybe even exciting adventures. It's important to take time to pause. Use this time to reflect on your path in life and to develop your curiosity, which ultimately is the key to lifelong learning. Learning is an eternal gift. Every single day provides us all with so many opportunities to learn and grow. Life is one big adventure in so many ways, and when we adopt a curious and open mindset, it's amazing what we can discover. I certainly know from personal experience that curiosity has helped me to be more resilient in challenging times. And life is never boring for a curious person. Thank you so much for your time today. And if there's time, I'm happy to answer questions about normal GDOT stuff and whatever. Any questions? Yeah, Dan.
Use the microphone.
Hello, okay. You talked about working with people that are curious, so which makes me think that of a formal mentoring program to foster that. But what advice can you give for it happening sort of on the fly when there's opportunities present themselves where we can help people grow and expand in their profession?
That's a great question, Dan. I mean, at GDOT, we do have a more formal mentoring program called GDOT Connect, where we put younger, I don't know if that's my mic or not. Where we put younger employees with folks who don't necessarily work in their field, and they get to learn about GDOT. But I think on an informal way is really almost better, because it's everyday interactions, but it's also making sure if you're a younger engineer, you need to reach out and seek that, because sometimes you may not have those chances to cross with some of the other people who work in your organization, but they're always going to be willing to meet with you and talk to you and answer questions if you ask them to and make time. And as the folks like me who have worked forever, it's important to reach out as well. It's more of a making an intentional choice to do that and make those opportunities happen. Although they do also happen just in the day-to-day as well. Any other questions?
Just a comment.
Because we have online people. We have online people, and they can't hear your question.
I just wanted to make the comment that thank you for moving the bridge out of the way so we could get here in a reasonable amount of time.
No problem. Any other questions? So Jody, I guess you were kidding when you said you had a big list of questions. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well, we're wrapping up a little early on the opening session. I want to remind everyone we have 10:15 session number 1. It is 10:15, right? 10:15. We have refreshments will be being set in about 15 minutes, a little early. But want you all to enjoy the conference. If there's any issues, please let us know. And yes.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, we love questions. Bring all the questions.
Maybe for you or for Christy, it's just an administrative type question. Some of us, I'll speak for myself, I'll be here partially and then I want to go back and continue attending online. How do I do that? I only registered for in-person, so do I have to also register partial?
This morning we sent out an email that has the link to every conference registrant. You should have received it. If you did not,
I did get a YouTube link. I tested it just now. It's working, but I didn't specifically register for it. How will I know that I attended partial online session? How will I get my PDAs? Those were some of the cutest things.
Well, yes. Christy will be delighted to help you with any PDH issues that you have. And of course, PDHs are self-reported, so take that into account. Does anyone else have any more questions? Well, thank you. Welcome to the conference. I hope you all have a wonderful time.